Yo, what's good? It's your boy B-Dell. Today I'm going to give an esoteric decoding of the movie Black Adam and how it's an emulation of eschatology, the Galactic Council, and the science of ancient Kemetic knowledge, right? So with all that shit being said, get your pens and papers out because it's going to be a good one. I'm going to be showing you an amalgamation of many different theological concepts that applies to ancient Kemetic knowledge, which also applies to the carbon makeup of the original people. So when you understand the delineation and the dichotomy of an atom, and Adam, they're basically one and the same when you're talking about the first thought forms on this planet. So Adam, according to ancient Kemetic science, it talks about he created himself from a mound of dust. The mound of dust is basically the personification of stardust particles. So the carbon makeup of the original people on this planet, we made up of 95% stardust, right? So the stardust particles is basically amalgamated from 6 electrons, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, which is the carbon makeup. So that's why they demonize 666 in the Bible, because it's not in alignment to Eurocentric spiritual systems, which is the fallacy of those spiritual systems that basically stole them stories from ancient Kemet, right? So this also applies to science. You see what I'm saying? So the first atom was created on planet Mars. So now when you go to the Holy Tablets, they said that the face of Mars is believed to be Homo erectus, which is the first man. So the face of Zakar, which is Kadam, called Adam, the Adamite project, is basically looks just like a sphinx, right? So the first Adam, the Adamites that was created on planet Mars, they was projected down on this planet, right, to jumpstart humanity. So now when you go to the illustration of Adam, this is the original illustration of Adam. And it says that Adam also corresponds to the Akkadian language, which means life of blood. So now when you understand that hydrogen is the most abundant resource and element in the universe, and the second is carbon. So when you have the unification of hydrogen and carbon amalgamated together, that sparks the soul of man, Solomon's temple, which is connected to the heart chakra, because the soul enters the body through the pineal gland, and the heart is the seat of the soul. So when you understand the 42 laws of Mayat and the 77 Kemetic ordinances, right? So this is why in these superhero movies, they always have the heart chakra lit up. They always have the logo of the superhero on the heart chakra, because in order to tap into that etheric energy to pull power down from the higher dimensions to where you can reap the benefits of your metaphysical abilities, you have to be in your heart space. You got to be in alignment, right? So now when you understand the inception story of Adam, you know what I'm saying, Black Adam. Black Adam, he got his powers from the goddess Shashet, who is the personification of Eve in the Bible, right? So goddess Shashet, she is the daughter of Tahuti, who is Zahuti, which is the god of wisdom. So she's basically the scribe of maiden life on this planet, because she's the one who gave divinity to Adam to reap the benefits of his spiritual abilities on this planet. So these are the acronyms of Shazam, who was basically the dark side of Black Adam. So you got Stamina, who comes from the god Shu. Then you got Hershef, which is the personification of strength. Then you got Amun, where you got the power. Then you got Zahuti, where you got the wisdom. Then you got Ampu, which is where you get your speed from, and Manthu, where you get your courage from, right? So that also corresponds to the tetragrammaton of the delineation between Black Adam and Shazam, right? Because it means agreeable and disagreeable. So that's how this guy on the left, he's basically the personification of a benevolent being, and you got Black Adam, who is the personification of a disagreeable being, because I told you that corresponds to the 24 Galactic Elders when you're talking about the Holy Tablets. Because now when you understand the carbon makeup of Black Adam, that's why they demonize him in the Bible and make him disagreeable. So that's why you get this whole concept of Antichrist, right? Because Black Adam in the movie, he's the anti-hero, right? So in the movie, he's basically, he has this choice to make to where he can have dominion over the planet for evil, or he can save the planet, right? So that's why, they make him the anti-hero, because they say he uses his power for evil. So in real life, when you look at these movies, it creates an inversion. I told you this is a Luciferian system. The bad guy is actually the good guy, and the good guy is actually the bad guy, because the bad guy wants to save the planet, but the good guy wants to save the planet because the planet is evil, because it's created and facilitated by people who are at the top. So Black Adam, he basically wants to get rid of the three-dimensional paradigm, right? So that's how you know that these people who run the planet, they know that it's going to be a messianic figure that's going to come back and destroy the earth, and they're going to say that he's the Antichrist and he's going to be a so-called black person, right? So now, like I said, he pulled his power from the 24 Galactic Elders. So that's how he was able to reap the benefits of his power. So when you go to the Holy Tablets, these are the illustrations from Dr. York's book, right? This is the real story of Black Adam that I'm showing you. And there's another illustration. These are some of the 24 Galactic Elders. You got Hanel, Ufal, Ragul, Razul, Radul, Quadizian. You know what I'm saying? These are the 24 Galactic Elders who are called the Riskings, right? Yeah, your angels in the Bible, agreeable and disagreeable, which is where you got your personification of Yahweh. YHWH amalgamated together means agreeable and disagreeable. There's no such thing as a Yahweh. There's not an actual, a physical entity. They're basically talking about two different, bloodlines. So now I'm going to show you something here. Now he's going to be telling you the same thing that I'm telling you, because like I said, the woman, how Black Adam was able to receive his powers, Zahudi, right? No, the goddess Shashet, she's the one who is the daughter of Thoth, Zahudi. She's the one who gave power to Black Adam, because she took from the tree of life and gave him divinity and dominion over the planet.
Brothers and sisters, saw the matrilineal system. Keep in mind that all the kings had to come through the line of the woman. Is that right? Right. What man can say he didn't come from a woman? Please step forward so we can understand where you came from. So our ancestors had no problems understanding that divine principle of that sacred womb where we all came from. That was the basis and foundation of the goddess principle and the matrilineal system in Africa. And our ancestors saw, in order for the king to rule the throne, like you have Ursa Ma'at here, the goddess Shashat. Here you see her in the tree of divine wisdom, giving the fruit of divine knowledge and wisdom in order for him to rule the throne. It had nothing to do.
So like I said, in ancient Kemet, everything was based on a matrilineal system, a matriarchy. So the woman appointed the man. The man did not appoint the woman. The woman is the one who gave the man the power. So that's why Black Adam got the power in the movie, right?
With no tree of good and evil. The patriarchs who came from the north, the Hyksos and others who had a misogynistic nature, a hatred towards the woman, could not conceive of a woman nor a goddess giving a man anything. And that story was corrupted. The tree of divine wisdom and divine life was corrupted into the tree of what? Because here we have that they created in their biblical stories and the opening of the pages in Genesis that there was Adam and Eve, is that right? And they were not to eat of the tree of what? Knowledge of what? Good and evil. Now, who was seduced by the serpent and ate from the tree? That's why, sisters, you got to watch and hear that sound. But anyway, here we see that she was seduced to eat the fruit, and then she seduced who? Adam. Now we are told that that's the reason for the world's sins of this first woman eating of the tree of good and evil, and that's also not only the reason for the world's sins, but her monthly cycle is to remind her of that sin. This is what's taught in the church. Okay? Now, when sisters start jacking that preacher up, who's been equally spiritually enslaved himself, to tell that story, and that we were born in sin, there was no story.
Let me interject for a second. This is why, the vast majority of these Eurocentric spiritual systems, that's why, they show a veneration to the moon, because it applies to the ancient Kemetic god called Set, because Set is the ruler of the moon and Saturn, the Saturn moon matrix, which is basically the foundation that's connected to monotheistic religion, right?
Ever in the Kemetic Nile Valley that we were born in sin. So a few years ago, back in 1988, boy, time is fast. Seemed like I just got this yesterday. Brother and sister showed me. They said, "Hey, brother, Crazy, you see, there's a black Adam and Eve." Although they made a black Adam and Eve, that has nothing to do with our story. This is what we see the evolutionists and creationists fighting each other. And they know anthropological studies that black people were first, so they put a black Adam and Eve and gave Adam a jerry curl and gave Eve a weave. They had to be looking good for each other back then, But it had nothing to do with our story, brothers and sisters. Even though they make it black to make you accept it, this is not still an African story. Right. The African story is the goddess Shashat giving the fruit of divine life from the tree of divine life and wisdom in order for the king to rule the throne. And this goddess concept was corrupted throughout the whole African Nile Valley, and even in our spiritual subconscious, even today, where we are told that the sisters are the ones, women are the ones for the world's sins. This is the demonization of women and the hatred of women. This is part of the sexism that you get in the theologians. Even in Paul, it says that women shouldn't even speak in the church. Mm-hmm. But I'm letting you know that is not. Let
alone that, you can't, if you're a Muslim, you can't even be in a temple if you're on your period. You see what I'm saying?
African spiritual way, brothers and sisters. We had a god and a goddess. That's a spiritual Ma'atian law that our ancestors saw. Okay? So let's understand that there was no rib, by the way, in the African creation story taken from the man to make the woman.
So that also corresponds to one of the videos I put out with Yaki Awaken, when I was talking about the foundation of the prokaryotic cell amalgamating in the universe and creating melanocytes, which gives the black woman, the ability to perform parthenogenesis because she has the mitochondrial DNA, right? So now, this also corresponds to the metaphysical origins of the Bible and the Holy Quran. It says the Adam comes from the Kemetic word Atam, Hindu, which means Atma, Atman, and the other Semitic permutation of the word Adam or Kadam, right? So it basically means the creator God or the supreme being of nature. So when you have the unification of man and woman together, right, which is the infinity symbol, which is the Ankh, which connects you to the energetic imprint of the universe, which is an amalgamation of the key of life, which is 3, 6, and a 9, the keys to the universe, right? So according to ancient cosmology, Adam later became Adam, who is now Atom in the modern day science. These atoms are basically the building blocks of all civilization. Carbon coating on your skin, right? Everything on this planet has carbon, because when carbon is conducive to the intrinsic sunlight, that creates this friction, and this friction creates a life force which sparks the soul of man through the carbon emissions that's connected to nitrogen. So now without Adam, it wouldn't be able to interface with the divine mind to have physical bodies. Adam is also matter backwards, which is the feminine form. So that, like I said, everything, according to ancient Kemet, everything had a balanced nature. It wasn't one-sided like how these motherfuckers do with patriarchal society. They want to keep everything on a masculine level and try to, deviate the woman out of it. Because like I told you, according to ancient Kemetic science, the woman appointed to man, she's the one who gives power to the man, right? So that's how you know in this movie, right, Black Adam, he got his powers from the goddess Shashat, and he got his powers, they intensified because he was drawing that energy, the etheric energy for the fourth dimension from the 24 Galactic Elders, right? So now, when you look at this aspect of it, like I said, in the Gnostic teachings, right, which is Gnosticism, which is also corresponds to Freemasonry, it said this article basically sheds light on why the woman initiates the man and why Eve is not evil. She's the initiator. She's the initiator of the man having dominion on the planet. She's the one who gives power to the man. So that's why they demonize everything, you know, when it comes to these movies and stuff like that. They demonize and villainize these characters because they know that that story corresponds to so-called Black people. So in order to understand the metaphysical aspects of this movie, you have to know who you are genetically. You have to know the origins of our religions, which comes from Kemetic science. And you also have to understand the esoteric science of, you know, monotheistic religion, because the stories is in there, but you have to read beyond the allegories and the deception, because all the stuff in the Bible is actually flipped around. It's an inversion, right? Just like how they do in these movies. So with all that being said, man, I really wanted to, you know, to show you guys, you know, that this movie is basically the foundation of who we are. And once you have the second coming of the Christ consciousness, right, it's going to overthrow this system. Because when you have this phantom energy, these Holy Ghost particles, which are basically nitroids, when they hit the carbon coating of your skin, it's going to put you in alignment with the universe, right? It's going to put you in alignment with the 6 noble gases in the universe that is going to spark the soul of man, right? That's why you see that in the logo on Black Adam's chest, it's an electrical boat, right? It's because it's the unification of the man and the woman connecting to the universe, the 3, 6, and the 9, which is basically carbon, lithium, sulfur, which is infinite energy, infinite wisdom, right? So with all that shit being said, man, this video is going to be very short. I just want to give a very simplistic synopsis on this movie. You know what I'm saying? Because this movie is really talking about the carbon makeup of who we are on this planet. So that's why I told you that in all forms of theology, they demonize 666 because 666 applies to the carbon makeup of the first man on this planet, who is Adam. Thanks for watching. End of transmission.